Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to your essay writing and presentation skills class. Today we are to begin with our lecture number 19 of our essay series. We are to start our lecture number 19 by talking about expository essay in detail. Remember, in the previous lecture we were thoroughly discussing the reflective essay in detail. That is somewhat related to sharing your life experiences or your personal experiences that really mean to you, or you want to draw their significance for the others. So to begin with, let's quickly recap that what we have done in our previous lecture. We started our lecture as we said that you are supposed to start your essay, your reflective essay, with a quote. So we started, I made sure that we do it in the same way. We started our previous lecture with the quote being said by Emerson and Thoreau, who were of a belief that everyone or anyone who wants to be a man should be a non-conformist. Now this non-conformism has something to do with agreeing or disagreeing with whatsoever has happened in your life, and that has helped you change your mind or your set of mind. Now that experience of yours can be shared with different people to make them understand that how your personal experience can be beneficial for them and how they can learn through your experience. Then we have also talked about writing one good reflective essay, and we discussed different techniques of writing, pre-writing and rewriting to make sure that we start our essay with. Then there are some steps for writing a reflective essay that we have discussed thoroughly in our previous lecture, and while doing so we learned that how to make outlines, how to make mind maps, how to write down your body paragraphs which are full of the arguments that are related and that are sequential, which are written in the classical structure that is required for writing down one good reflective essay. Then we also talked about that how you can select one topic for your reflective essay. You can either pick up one from your album, you can also pick up one from your journal or diary. Then there are some key points to be considered while writing down one good reflective essay. There are some do's and don'ts that people are supposed to keep in mind while writing a good reflective essay, and the example that we discussed in our reflective essay is of information pressure, which is ignorance is a bliss, information pressure versus ignorance is a bliss, how the writer was successful to convey his personal experience of joining one news agency and how he had to ban that and how he had to shun that because he has learned that a lot of information, a lot of negative information can be dangerous for every human being. So that was all about our previous lecture. Today we are going to thoroughly discuss that what expository essays are and what do they talk about, and we are going to discuss them thoroughly in today's lecture as to see that how you can produce one good expository essay. Now let's begin with the definition of the expository essay. Let me pick up my highlighter for that to make sure that you get every idea highlighted before as we move on to our expository essay. Now see the definition written on the slide. The expository essay is a genre of essay that requires the student to investigate. Now investigate what? Now this type of essay or this genre of essay helps or asks students to investigate something. Now what do they investigate about? They can investigate an idea first of all. They can investigate an event, or they can evaluate an event, or they can expound on the idea. Now an idea, any event, or your expoundation on any idea is of your main focus of your investigation while you think of writing one expository essay, because you are trying to expose that information in front of the reader. And once you have picked up any idea or any event, you set forth an argument concerning that idea in a clear and concise manner. So remember, your expository essay should be concise enough and clear enough. Now this clarity and conciseness becomes very important once you start thinking about writing one good expository essay. If you don't stick to this conciseness and this clarity, your essay can be an expository essay, but that cannot be a good type of essay, good type of expository essay. So what you are supposed to keep in mind is to pick up an idea and an event, expound on that idea and set forth the argument, any argument that is concerning the idea which is related to your topic of discussion or which is related to your topic of expository essay. So this is what we are supposed to do today while writing, or while we choose for writing one good expository essay. So let's move on with our lecture and let's see that how we are going to do that. Now this can be accomplished through, now that you want to expound on any idea or you want to critically argue on any idea clearly and concisely, you can accomplish this thing through comparison and contrast, maybe providing the definition, maybe providing the examples, or maybe the analysis of the cause and effect, and so on and so forth. So there are so many ways through which you can write down one good expository essay. You can either make use of comparison and contrast. You can either define something, like picking up the definition of something. You can provide the good examples for that. You can even talk about the cause and effect of that, and so on and so forth. So all the other ideas can relate to the exposition of any idea that you want to expound on and that you want to argue on. So any technique or any emergence of any other essay writing can be used in your expository essay. Now moving on to the next slide. Any expository essay, it usually gives you the facts, or it provides you with the facts that are important in your life, or which actually can make your idea clear for the reader. So providing the facts in your expository essay is going to help you make your idea better understandable by the reader. Now any expository essay helps to explain those facts and those ideas or events that you have selected for your expository essay. Now it also, now the 2 points that we have discussed, it gives the facts, or it provides the facts. The second thing is that it helps to explain. The third thing is that it gives steps in a process. Now it can be, or it can talk about any process, or it can talk about giving you any instruction that happens in a procedure, or that happens in a procedural way. Then it presents ideas in a logical order or the correct sequence. So this order should be sequential, or this order should be chronological. That is to be in a correct sequence, or that is to be in a correct order. Now what are the key words that show it is an expository essay? Now you are supposed to remember that how you can judge that, or how you can, if you are reading someone else's paper, so what are the key terms. If you look at those key terms, you would be able to understand that yes, this is one type of expository essay. Now let's see that what those key terms are. Most people enjoy some type of music. Think about your favorite type of music and explain why do you like that particular type of music. Now this explanation is one key term that will help you understand that this is one type of expository essay. So the example is right in front of you. If you like music and if you enjoy music, you are going to pick up that favorite type of music that you like, folk, pop, rock music, any type of music, and then you are going to explain that why do you like that particular music. Now this explanation thing, if it is there, this element or this keyword is going to help you that why do you that this is one type of expository essay. Let's see the example number 2. Sometimes even the best drivers can lost at times. Explain how would direct a lost man to get back to the expressway or highway from your neighborhood. Now this kind of explanation, now see the keyword coming again and again, that is explain. So providing this explanation is the only focus of attention. Now let's see the third example. Tell how to make a hamburger. Now this how, along with you explain, you also explain that how this piece of music is different from other pieces of music, how the one driver who has lost his way can get to the right expressway or highway, and tell how to make a hamburger. These two key terms, how and explain. Now this how to explain thing becomes important once you are writing about one good expository essay. Understood? So you are supposed to keep in mind that how and explanation that is there to see that how it is one form of expository essay. Now you will find these words in the essay, explain or tell how. So these two words, if they are there in any kind of essay that you have picked up for the analysis, maybe for putting your reflection on, for maybe critical thinking or critical analysis, so these two terms, explanation and tell how, are going to tell you that this is one kind of expository essay. So if you pick up any topic to write an expository essay on, you are supposed to keep in mind only two terms, that is to explain and tell how it happened and how is it different from the others. So it basically talks about the process, as well as it explains that how you can overcome, or how would you like to that particular piece of music, or how you would direct a lost man to get back to the highway. Now that we are done with what expository essay is and what are the key terms that you are supposed to keep in mind while you plan to write down one good expository essay, now let's talk about the structure of the expository essay that can be kept in mind if you are interested in writing down one good expository essay. Of course you would be interested in, because this is your course and this is very major component of your course of essay writing and presentations, because you are here to learn that how to use your maximum productive skills in your career, and how are they going to be beneficial for you once you actually start thinking of furthering your career towards any particular field that you want to go in. Now let's see that what is the structure of the expository essay. The structure of the expository essay is held together by the following: a clear, concise and defined thesis statement that occurs in the first paragraph of the essay. Now that we have discussed and we have elaborated this thing in the beginning, that your essay, expository essay, is supposed to be clear and concise. Now this clarity and this conciseness is very important once you pick up to write down on one topic that you want to expose in front of your audience. And how do you expose this thing in front of the audience? By explaining it well and telling them how to do that. So these two things are very important. Now once you have decided to write on the expository topic or expository prose or expository essay, your main focus is to make your thesis statement as concise and clear, and then to insert that thesis statement into your introduction paragraph, that is your first paragraph of the essay. Now you are going to make sure, the second thing, that there should be clear and logical transitions between your introduction, between your main body parts and your conclusions. Now every one thought should be logically connected to the next one. To do so, you are going to make sure that you are going to use such kind of transition words which are going to help you connect your thoughts. Now these transition words can be like using furthermore, therefore, however, firstly, secondly, thirdly, for example, for instance. So these are some words that can be used as transitions to link your thoughts to coherent, to use this coherence and cohesion in your thoughts to make sure that all the ideas are logically connected to your thesis statement. Now, a third point that you are supposed to consider while writing or while structuring the expository essay is that body paragraphs that include the evidential support. Now, how are they being supported with the evidence? Because you are, trying to explain the event, or explain the situation, or explain the incident, or explain about any particular topic that you are writing on. So this explanation is to be supported with the evidences, or there should be evidences to support your argument that you are providing in your every paragraph that is there. Now, any evidentiary support, whether it is factual, logical, statistical, or subjective. That is subjective, that is based on your personal opinion or your personal set of ideas that you want to present. Either that is factual, that is based on facts, on reality. Either that is logical, which is giving you the statistical review of something. So these kind of things, they should every evidence should be based on reality, based on your personal experiences that are true. So these evidences should not be man-made, or they should not be made out of your imagination and out of your impulse. So make sure that once you pick up to write down one good expository essay, you are going to take care of providing each and every argument, and starting each and every you're elaborating your topic sentence with all these evidences. Now, if we see the structure for that, let me pin that down for you so that you are in a better position to do that. This is your topic sentence of your paragraph. This is your topic sentence. Now, this topic sentence, whatsoever it is to be supported with the evidences. Now, these evidences are supposed to be based on facts. They are supposed to subjective, related to your life-like experiences. They can be statistical, or they can be logical. So you are going to prove them with the logic, you are going to prove them your personal experience. The element of impulse or imagination or something that is not real should not be involved. And in your closing paragraph, that is your closing line, or that should be related to your topic sentence, that is your thesis of the paragraph. So this is how you are going to start making your paragraphs and draw your evidences in your paragraphs accordingly. Now, the structure of expository essay is that your creativity should be involved. Now, this creativity doesn't allow you the margin of or doesn't allow you the this thing that you are going to drag from the evidences which are based on facts and figures. You are going to keep in mind that even though you add up such elements which are creative, that your language is creative enough to bring your reader into the situation, and it becomes eye-catching for them, and they are interested to learn that what you have written in your essay. Your conclusion, and that does not simply restate thesis but readdresses it in the light of evidences provided. Now, your conclusion is something that readdresses your thesis statement that was being introduced in the first paragraph, that is your introduction paragraph. Now, it readdresses it by not providing any new opinion or any new concept or any new evidence, but through the help of all the evidences that you have written down in your paragraphs, you analyze your conclusion, or you draw your conclusion based on those details that you have mentioned in your supplementary details, or in your supporting ideas, or your main body parts. Now, that was all about the ideas that are supposed to be kept in mind while writing down one good, or if you plan to write down one good expository essay. Now, there is a complete argument. Perhaps it is useful or helpful to think of an essay in terms of conversation or debate with a classmate. Now, this essay type, or it is helpful to think of an essay in terms of once you plan to write down one expository essay, it is helpful if you think of it in terms of talking to your classmate or debate with a classmate on any serious issue, or maybe if you think of the conversation. Now, if I were to, now I am giving you this example that is based on something that I feel and something that I want to share with you. If I were to discuss the cause of the Great Depression and its current effect on those who live through the chaotic time, there would be a beginning, middle, and end to the conversation. Now that I am picking up this conversation style, my complete argument or my complete topic of argument, that is Great Depression, should revolve around this very theme of depression. So that should be in the conversational style. That should carry one introduction paragraph, that should have a middle, and that should have a closing paragraph. So the beginning, middle, and end would be in the form of a conversation that I am trying to tell my reader. In fact, if I were to end the exposition in the middle of my second point, questions would arise concerning the current effects on those who lived through depression. Now, if I have ended my conversation in the middle of my second point while providing the supporting details, the question would arise in the mind of reader that how this Great Depression can have effects in the other's life, or those who are suffering with this Great Depression in their lives also. Therefore, expository essay must be complete and logical, so leaving no doubt as to its intent or argument. So you are not going to digress from that fact that this expository essay must be complete and logical in terms of its conversation, and in terms of how do you or how successful you are in providing the details to the audience, that how so and so event that has happened, or so and so topic that you have selected for your writing is going to be beneficial for them. Now there is one technique of brainstorming that I am going to discuss with you, that I am going to share with you, through which you can see that if you have selected one topic for writing down one expository essay on this, so how do you do that? Now you are going to think of brainstorm through the word PACO. Now see, PACO, this PACO technique, pre-writing technique, can be used once we plan for writing down one expository essay. Now how do you do that? Let's try to see that. Now let's try to see that what this PACO technique of brainstorming is. Now this PACO technique that can be used as one very good technique of brainstorming while you select for, or you opt for writing one good expository essay is, this P stands for the purpose. Now what is your purpose of writing that you are going to keep in mind while you actually start making your first draft? So on your rough sheet, that is your pre-writing page, you are going to clearly answer this P, the purpose of writing, that what is your purpose of writing this very this very expository essay. Then this A, P stands for purpose, A stands for your audience. So you are going to clearly see that whom you are writing for and who is your A audience. So A stands for the audience that you are going to focus on before you actually think of writing about any expository essay. So two things to remember: P for purpose, A for audience that you want to write about. C for the content. Now what are your ideas for details, facts, or reasons? So what kind of a content you are going to get in, or you are going to bring in to produce your evidences, produce your facts, statistics, and get along with your subjective point of view for the reader. Then this O stands for organization. Think how you want to structure your paper, what could be the logical progression of the ideas, what should beginning talk about, what should be there in the introduction paragraph. Of course, your introduction paragraph should be clear enough for the reader to understand that how do you want to proceed on with, and what kind of the ideas you want to bring in as to see that what do you want to insert in your paper. So this PACO technique, P for purpose, A for audience, C for contents, and O for organization of your essay should be kept in mind. This pre-writing technique should be kept in mind. Just remember the word PACO so that you can focus on the purpose, you can focus on the audience, you can focus on the content, and then you can focus on the organization, and then you can start your outline for writing down one good expository essay. Now I hope that you know about this PACO technique, and you are going to work through this technique as to see, and you will see that how you can write one very good essay for your reader. Now there are some steps to be followed for writing the expository essay. Now see that what these steps are. There are 8 basic steps that are supposed to be kept in mind while writing one good expository essay. The first step is the number 1 step that you are supposed to keep in mind is selection of the topic. Now this is your step number 1. Be sure that topic is narrow enough to make it manageable within the space of an essay. Now if you choose, or if you pick up a very broad category to be inserted in, or to be discussed in, or to be explained in your essay, it will become very difficult for you to focus on that, and to focus let or get that attention of the reader that you want to get in. So focus on the narrow idea that you think you can write on within the space of an essay. Remember, there is one specific limit for writing down an essay, and you are going to not cross that limit. That one we are going to discuss also in our upcoming slides. Now your second step would be that you are going to write down the thesis sentence. This is your step number 2. Be sure that your thesis statement or sentences express a controlling idea. Now this controlling idea is your thesis statement around which all your thoughts, all your evidences, all your facts, all your statistics, all your personal experiences revolve to prove or to give support to your main argument that needs to be exposed. That is neither too broad nor too specific to be developed effectively. So that should be focused. So you are supposed to keep in mind that you are going to take help of the PACO brainstorming technique before you actually want to work on any expository essay type. Now the step number 3 would be that you select a method of the development. Now this method of development can be selected in such a way that check through all the methods before you finally settle on the one which is the best for your thesis. To prove your thesis, try to see the list of methods that you want to use for writing down one good expository essay. As we have talked earlier in the previous slides, that how you can take help of definitions, examples, compare and contrast, cause and effect, and classification, process analysis, and so on and so forth, to see that which method you can opt for writing down one expository essay. Remember, the thumb rule is that at a time you are going to focus on only one method. If you try to mingle 2 methods together, that is going to create problem for yourself also, as you plan to write down the progression of writing down the topics or explaining the topics for your audience, as well as it is going to be very difficult for your reader to understand it from the different point of view still, since you are using different methods. So stick to one method that you feel you are comfortable with, and start writing your expository essay. Then your step number 4 would be organizing the essay. Now this organization of essay will be done when you begin by listing the major divisions which the body paragraphs in your essay will contain. Now you divide all your body paragraphs into different major divisions, into different major facts, into different major evidences that you want to put in to support your main thesis statement. Now how do you do that? The way we make the mind maps, the way we make or outlines for the essay, you are supposed to make or get help from them to find out that how you can write down one good organized expository essay. Now your point number 5th focuses on that write topic sentences for the body paragraphs of the essay. Now these body paragraphs of the essay should carry the topic sentences. as I have mentioned in the previous discussion, that how you can choose one topic statement, and related to that topic statement you are supposed to provide one evidence that is going to help you elaborate that topic sentence, and then closing sentence should be in relation to the evidence as well as your topic statement, as to make it coherent and strongly that is related, the ideas are transforming, or they are leading from one idea to the other. So for each body paragraph, furnish a topic sentence, and that directly relates to the thesis sentence. Now every topic sentence of every paragraph that you are writing should be related to your main thesis statement, as to make sure that all your body paragraphs are related to the main idea that you have introduced in your introduction of your expository essay. Then your point number 6 would be that write the body paragraphs of the essay. Once that you have decided on writing the introduction, that would carry your thesis statement that is to be elaborated thoroughly in your essay. Your next step would be writing the body paragraphs of the essay. Now how to do that? Every body paragraph should develop the primary support covered in that paragraph's topic sentence. As I've mentioned earlier in the previous slide as well, that every topic sentence should focus or should be related to the main idea, that is your thesis statement that was discussed thoroughly in your main introduction paragraph. Now every topic sentence should be elaborated or should be explained with the help of one fact or one evidence that you feel is the most relevant one in writing down one good expository essay. Now furnish a paragraph of introduction. An introductory paragraph should state thesis of the essay. Now this thesis of the essay is your thesis statement which introduces the divisions in the body paragraphs of the essay and gain the interest of the reader. Now as we are so much focusing on providing the main thesis statement in your introduction paragraph, so make sure that once you are writing down your introduction paragraph, you are going to keep in mind that your introduction paragraph should focus or should clearly address the topic statement or the thesis statement for the reader, as they can very well understand that what exactly you are going to talk about in the upcoming slide. So this is how you prove your topic sentence, and this is how you move on further. Now your point number 8 would be, and your step number 8 would be the last step that you are supposed to make while you are supposed to remember while writing down one good expository essay, that write a paragraph of conclusion. First of all, you have made a mind map, you have made an outline. Based on that outline, you have gathered those evidences, those facts which you think are of a great support for your whole essay. Then try to keep in mind that your topic should not be very broad as to take your audience attention somewhere else. You are supposed to narrow it down to make it precise and clear for the reader. Once you have selected the topic, you are supposed to provide different paragraphs to start writing with the main body. Now in your main body, you are supposed to remember that you are supposed to write down each paragraph related to the thesis statement that you have made, that you have created one, and relate every paragraph's idea with the thesis statement that one you are going to introduce in your introduction paragraph. Your introduction paragraph should be appealing enough for the reader so that they can get cached by you and your thoughts, and they are going to develop their interest of reading down your paper. Then you are going to, in a stage, the last stage of writing a paragraph of conclusion, restate the thesis and divisions of the essay. Now you would clearly in your conclusion tell that what is exactly your thesis statement, what exactly your thesis statement was, and what were the different parts that you have discussed. Bring the essay to an appropriate effective close. Now you would clearly conclude all your thoughts and arguments in the last paragraph, that is your conclusion paragraph. Avoid digressing into new issues. Now in your closing paragraph, you are not going to present any new argument or any new thought that is going to digress or that is going to divert the attention of the reader towards any other event or towards any other issue that can be raised in their mind. So stick to what you have worked on, because that was your work and you wanted to bring a good end to it. Now just to give you an example, if you bought a very nice piece of decoration for your friend and you have put that into a box, you have well wrapped it, and then you have well packed it with a beautiful wrapping sheet, and then you are going to put a ribbon around it. Do not forget to write down your name, mentioning that this is a gift from you. So if you just leave that gift on his table without mentioning that gift was coming from you, you won't be successful, and your message will not be completely conveyed to the one who is receiving the gift. So make sure that you write down your address and your name and the reason that why you are giving them a gift, maybe a happy birthday, maybe a very happy wedding anniversary or anything like that. So you are going to do that. So this is how in the same way you make sure that you provide a proper closing to your essay, because if you won't properly close it and if you leave it just like that, this is not going to make your point clear to the audience, and they are going to digress or divert their attention towards something else that is of their interest, or maybe they can start thinking of something new instead of thinking about what thoughts you have left for them to ponder on. So these are some of the steps that can be taken for writing down one good expository essay. Now we are to discuss some of the good types of expository essay. Now it says that there are three main types of expository essay. They are pieces of scholarly writing which describe or examine a process of some kind in a comprehensive way. So it tries to explain, and it also tries to see that how it will be or how it is for the reader. Now it can help us analyze a concept. It describes and explore a written work or an event, or it set out and explain detailed instructions or a description of a method or a procedure. So these are the three main types in which an expository essay can be written. It can analyze a concept. First of all, it can be written a work of an event, or it can set out or explain any process. So three ways it can work on any event. It can be written about a process, or it can analyze a concept. So it revolves around a concept, defining a process or an event. It is not always easy to separate these three types. Now these three types are not very easy to be separated, because maybe in one essay you are analyzing any concept as well as you are trying to tell about, or you are trying to explain any event for the audience through a particular process. So these three things cannot be separated from one another. An essay can be a good combination of all these three. An expository essay can be a very good combination of all these three essay types. It is not always easy to separate these three types. It does become clearer after one has decided on a topic and found a way to present an argument about it. So it is basically dependent on the writer of the essay, that how which technique or which type of writing down one expository essay he wants to pick up when he plans to write down one good expository essay. Now moving on to the next slide, which discusses the key points to be considered while writing one good expository essay. The first point is that describing a procedure or a process need not be boring or dull. Now if you are describing any procedure in your expository essay, you are going to make sure that it is not going to become dull and boring for the audience. Find an interesting way to present material to the reader without too much irresistible detail. Now the details, the evidences, the facts, the statistical information that you are providing, or the subjective information that you are providing in your expository essay should be sparking enough so that the reader is not going to resist that. They are not going to go anywhere, and your details are going to stick them to their reading for a longer period of time. If you pick up this technique of compare and contrast aspects of your topic, you can do it in two ways: different methodology found in literature, or alternative ways used by the different scholars or exponents. So if you pick up to compare and contrast the aspects of your topic, the two techniques can be used while you pick up to compare and contrast any piece of literature. If using cause and effect method, make sure that you match each pair correctly and support each example with citation to demonstrate it truly. Now if you pick up to talk about the cause and effect of anything, you are supposed to make sure that you are going to work on each one of them, the cause and the effect, the action and the reaction in detail, as to make sure that you are going to provide and support them with the proper references or proper citations, proper quotes, proper work that you are going to quote, which is being taken from any journal, from any article, from any book. So you are going to properly cite that. You are going to make sure that proper references should be given as to avoid the issue of plagiarism in your work. Now if you attempt to write down on the classification, write it in a very clear and simple way. You are going to make sure that you are going to write it in a very clear and simple way that should provide clarity, conciseness for the reader. It is not a good idea to introduce too much complication which might bore or confuse the reader. So if you are trying to make an impression on the reader and you make your essay boring or confusing for the reader, they might not be interested in reading your paper. So try to make sure that if you are attempting a classification, your essay should not become boring or somewhat complicated for the reader. So try to elaborate or try to convey that complicated material to the reader in a very simple language and in a very clear language. Now examples chosen to demonstrate or illustrate an argument must be suitable or relevant one. So the examples that you have chosen to demonstrate or illustrate your argument must be relevant and must be suitable. They should clearly focus on the argument to support the argument the way we provide the supporting details to support our thesis statement. A good way to decide if an example is appropriate is to try to argue against it yourself. So if you are successful, it was not a good example. So try to pick up any example on which there is a margin that you may come wrong or your thesis may come wrong, so that you can pick up any other appropriate example for your expository essay. Defining is not as simple as finding something in a dictionary and copying out the description. Now if you try to define something through dictionary or you copy it out from in description, that is not a very good idea, because dictionaries are not amongst the most relevant of the scholarly references. You can make use of the scholarly sayings, or you can make use of encyclopedias or books. Basically we prefer taking your citations from books, so that your idea comes from the scholarly way. Good definitions can be sought in sources from the relevant literature. So if you have selected one topic for your expository essay, try to read the relevant literature through which you can write down one good expository essay. Many authors start a book or a journal article by writing a good definition without resorting to dictionaries, so they provide excellent quotes if used with care. So you are also going to make sure that once you are to write down one expository essay, try to read out from the relevant material that maybe you can find on internet, by surfing on internet, by googling, by going to the library and surfing for the relevant books. And then if you find any good author, any renowned author who has said something related to your topic, you can quote that in the beginning to make an impression that your essay is somewhat based on the scholarly references that you have gathered from different resources. So this is how, in this way, while providing the accurate or the relevant material for carrying out your research or carrying out or writing down your expository essay is going to be of great help if you want to write down one good essay for yourself. Now there are some points that you are supposed to remember and you are supposed to do while writing one good expository essay. Do decide on your topic and method of exposition first. So first of all, you would decide the topic of your expository essay, and then you would decide on writing down the method of your essay, or deciding on the method out of the classification, cause and effect, example, definition, description, and so on and so forth, to see that which method you are going to particularly focus on while you are writing one good expository essay. So the thing that you are supposed to remember is that you are going to supposed to do is to focus on the topic and method of your expository essay, so that you are not going to digress from the situation and you are not going to divert your situation towards something else. Do read all your chosen sources properly. Now that you have found some relevant material related to your topic, and you have also decided on the method or the methodology that you are supposed to any method out of the methods that I have mentioned, you are supposed to see and visit all those books, the pile of books that you have gathered related to your topic. And then if you have downloaded any relevant articles from internet, and you have taken help from any journals or any related material that was available, so you are going to see that you are going to read them out properly, because if you are going to provide the irrelevant or providing any information that is not suitable or that does not support your thesis statement, is going to be the wrong idea. So do read your material, your resource material or your sources which you have gathered to be focused before you actually start writing for your expository essay. Do understand that an expository essay need not be boring and too long. Now there is a specific length for writing down any essay, so you are supposed to make sure that your essay should not be lengthy enough that it should become boring. So try to focus on the length of the essay before you actually start writing it. Do use philosophical devices such as deduction, logic and inference to support any claims you make. So these kind of inference and deduction approaches should be kept in mind while this should be used while start making claims for your thesis statement. Do make sure that you paraphrase precisely and efficiently when using material found in books and journals. So you are not going to put the whole book in your essay, of course. You are going to make a help of the material that you find relevant in your books and journals that you have collected for, or that you have gathered for as a sources of to be cited in your essay. So try to see that you are going to make them precise and you are going to paraphrase them, because you are not going to copy them word by word. And if you are going to copy them word by word, make sure that you use MLA style, as I have taught you in the previous lecture. If you don't remember that, go to the previous lecture again and try to see that how you are supposed to insert that. Then do avoid using blanket statements and broad generalization. They only serve to destroy an argument. So these blanket statements which actually cover or which actually bring or which actually hide your idea underneath should be avoided, and your broad generalizations, the general ideas, should be avoided if once you plan to write down one good expository essay, because these kind of things, the broad generalizations and then the blanket statements, they somewhat destroy your thesis statement and your basic argument of your expository essay. Don't lose track of your train of thoughts and deviate. Now this track of your train of thoughts should be logically connected to one another if we talk about, or if we are talking about the expository essay, because all thoughts related to one topic are followed or being written down on the piece of paper by following one particular method. So make sure that all the transitions are there which make your ideas well connected and related to one another. Don't actively or negatively criticize the text or event in a subjective manner. Now you are going to make sure that this subjectivity should not be there if you are actively or negatively criticizing something, like picking up the good or bad or talking about the advantages or the disadvantages of something. Your opinion once criticizing something should not be subjective. You are going to talk on the grounds. You are going to talk through evidences. You are going to talk through facts. Remember, although your opinion will be apparent from the way you arrange your argument, writing opposed material is not the scope of any academic paper. So even if you try to do so, first thing that you are supposed to remember, that you are not going to critically see them. If you are going to see them, then see that you are going to properly cite them. Don't make unqualified statements without support of reference data and quotations. So do not make any subjective statements that are unqualified or that do not qualify to the situation of, or that do not provide any strong basic argument, or that do not provide any evidence to your topic sentence. Don't use popular expressions, colloquial language, magazine style, prose or commonplace examples. Now see, commonplace examples, the magazine style, popular expressions, colloquial language should be avoided while you are writing one good expository essay, because your essay is somewhat scholarly. Now see the word scholarly. Keep the argument as scholarly all the times as you can, because your expository essay has something to do with exposing and explaining and how to do that, or how to go about the thesis statement. So you are not going to give your expression a style that is going to be very, very popular or common style or magazine style. You should make, in the previous style we also said that you should be there should be a bit of creativity. So you are going to use such kind of a language that is going to make your expository essay look different from the other kinds of essay. Don't neglect to polish the writing and check the quality of argument. So why do you have to polish your writing? You have to polish your writing to see that if there is to check the quality of the arguments that you are providing in your essay. A good debate couched in a poor language or a poor argument phrased in excellent style will not disguise lack of preparation. So even if you are providing any idea that is not very important, but you are representing or you are presenting them in such a way that is appealing to the logic of the reader, so it will become a very good essay. But if any good topic that is not being presented in a good way will not be disguised for the lack of preparation. Don't introduce new material in the concluding paragraph, as I have said, because that is going to digress the attention of your reader, and they are going to, instead of closing down and pondering on your topic, they will start thinking about something else. All concepts and ideas must be elaborated upon in the body paragraphs. So your closing paragraph should be based on, or should be the combination of all the concepts and ideas that you have mentioned in your body paragraphs in detail. So you are going to take care of all these don'ts and do's in mind if you plan to pick up one topic for your writing down one good expository essay. Now let's move on to your common mistakes that one can make while writing down one good expository essay. Now, building a whole exposition based on a single opinion that is yours. Now, this is one common mistake that one can make once you are writing about one good expository essay. You need to introduce an alternate perspective which is well supported by the reputable references. Now, the method, it depends on the kind of the method that you are using. It should be supported by, you see, I have mentioned in the previous discussion that how if you are going to provide only the subjective detail, they are going to become unqualified references for the reader, because your writing becomes interesting for the readers if you are going to quote from different references, and you are going to take help of the sayings being said by the renowned speakers and renowned scholars, which is going to be the best practice for writing down one good expository essay. Then styling the essay in an emotive way that is going to move the emotion of the reader. All language you use needs to be as calculated and unemotional as possible, with reasoning based on research. So, in other words, try to avoid emotions in your expository essay, because your expository essay explains about the facts and evidences related to your thesis statement or your topic. So, try to make sure that the kind of information that you are providing in your expository essay should be reality based, should be factual, should not be revolving around the unqualified details that cannot prove your argument to be the solid one. So try to make sure that you are going to use such a language style that is going to avoid the emotive things in your essay. Couching the essay in a conversational language. Now, this conversation can be there, but this conversation should not be the basic style of writing down your expository essay. Having a verbal debate with others is not the same as writing a cohesive expository essay. Now, we said that your expository essay is a kind of a conversation or a kind of a debate with your classmate, but that has something to do with writing down your whole exposition in the conversational style. It is somewhat different from the way we converse with people, the way we argue with people, and the way we communicate with people. There are rules to which a careful student must conform. Showing ignorance of these rules is unwise. All those rules which we have discussed in the previous discussion are supposed to be kept in mind while writing down one good expository essay, because if you are going to stick to the conversational style, that is going to make your essay more dialogue form, or more narrative, or more personal than more exposition type. Changing perspective during the development of argument. Now, this is another common mistake that writers can make, the writers of expository essay can make while writing down one exposition. Being influenced by one piece of research and then showing a conflicting argument in a subsequent paragraph is showing lack of mental discipline. So your writing reveals that how disciplined you are, how disciplined your thoughts are, how disciplined your arguments are. So you are going to make sure that if you stick to one perspective argument, do not try to drag two opposite sides or two poles apart to into the fight, because this is also going to confuse yourself as well as your reader, and this is only going to create the misunderstandings in your essay. Lack of planning. For planning thing, you are supposed to keep in mind the PACO technique clearly, so that you can write down one good expository essay. This is always detectable by the examiner. If you are not well prepared for your expository essay, your reader, your examiner, your instructor, your teacher will automatically in the first paragraph will find out that you lack preparation. Lack of structure and evidence of the poor research cost valuable marks. So this is how you are going to take care of the planning stage once you start writing down one good expository essay. Now moving on to the next slide, use of the irrelevant or inaccurate vocabulary is another common mistake that writer can make while writing one good expository essay. The vocabulary of expository essay needs to conform to the topic and discipline. So all the connective words, all the words related to the key term, to the main thesis that elaborate, for that you are supposed to use the technique of mind mapping, so that you can gather or you can formulate one tree diagram of the basic word that is your focus of attention, and then you can jot down a lot of key terms and a lot of related ideas into its branches. Engineering and English literature, for example, are two subjects that employ vastly different language and terminologies. Understanding this is a long step towards planning a successful essay. So if you are going to mingle the terminologies of engineering into English literature and the terms being used in English literature into engineering, that's going to be one undisciplined thing that you can not avoid, and that can make your essay full of the irrelevant and inaccurate vocabulary. So you are going to make sure that if you are talking about engineering, you should stick to all those words, all those terminologies which are related to that, and if you are particularly talking about literature, make sure that you use such terminologies which elaborate the concept of literature. Now, too few or too many references, another common mistake that students can make while writing down one good expository essay. Students must take care not to overload an essay with too many facts and quotes from the literature. Now, students must make sure that they are not going to, add in so much information or too many, very few or too many references from the literature. Short essay of less than 2,000 words rarely need the support of more than 4 sources. Now see the exact length of the expository essay that you are supposed to keep in mind. By the same token, long research works of over 5,000 words need the backing of more than just 4 sources. So this is how you can make your expository essay a unique one and a perfect one by not adding very few or too many references in your essay. So there is a specific limit that you are supposed to follow. Now our example of the expository essay kind of bring us to the takriban end of the lecture, and today we are to discuss the internet in society once we are planning to write or explaining or defining one exposition for our audience. So let's see that how the writer of the essay tries to do that. We will read it and then we will try to pick up all those points, and we will critically see that how this piece of writing was well written. Now to begin with, I will read from the slides and you are supposed to see that how we can do that. Now let's try to read that. Modern society has undergone a radical development in last 20 years. Computers were once just a means to solve mathematical equations. Rapid advances in technology have altered the way in which people interact with computers as well as the functionality of these smart machines. With the advent of a worldwide and nearly universally accessible web, the way in which we interact with each other has changed drastically. People from all over the world can instantaneously exchange both business and personal information. Internet commerce has become a huge part of the daily lives of millions, as well as social networking and streaming media. Most recently, portable electronics capable of nearly all internet-related tasks have become a common possession for the average middle-aged American. The unlimited free exchange of information has changed and is continuing to change in every profound way society at large. So this is how the writer clearly mentions the use of technology and information around us. So this technology in our society is becoming very common, and this is becoming one basic part of our revolving. Now moving on to the next slide, let's see how the writer provides is successful to provide the supporting details for your essay. Now let's see that how the writer begins his paragraph by mentioning one famous quote by Nikosawa in 2007. The internet is probably most famous for ability to spread information, facts or fiction. Despite the many positive influences the internet has had on our society, one cannot ignore the negative prerequisites. Many vendors have become faceless and examination of good prior to purchase has been reduced to pictures. While there are many reputable online stores, there are those with less ethical aims. People must be wary of any and all information sharing and purchases conducted online to avoid the transfer of funds or personal data to different entities. Likewise, information obtained via the internet needs to be scrutinized in order to determine accuracy. According to the 2010 U.S. Intellectual Property Enforcement Coordinator Annual Report on Intellectual Property Enforcement, the digital environment presents enormous changes to business, consumer, governments, citizens, communities and families, partially as new technologies and platforms disrupt traditional business models, means of governance and modes of private communication and expression. In essence, the internet has begun to change nearly every aspect of our lives, shown no signs to be stopped. Now see that how the writer uses these references taken from these different references to make his point clear that how internet has this effect on our society today. Personal safety threats related to the popularity of social networking, especially amongst the youngsters, is also a huge internet-related issue. They are taking us somewhere exciting, but we have to work out how we deal with the fading boundaries these tools have left in their wake, and that means rewriting our social rules as we go along. However, 2009. With the human race being a social species by nature, it was inevitable that new advanced methods of communication would eventually be developed. The internet has revolutionized interpersonal communication since its inception with advances such as email and instant messaging. So the writer is trying to explain that how this new technology can be dangerous for the lives of youngsters. More recently, websites devoted entirely to communication have emerged. The most popular example of such social networks is Facebook. Now, this Facebook thing has become very popular nowadays, and how people communicate and interact with each other. Members of various social networks input personal data, upload photographs and personalize many aspects of their own unique pages within the site. They may then connect and share this information with as many people as they desire. The social networks have gained such popularity that one is nearly certain to find their friends and co-workers via online means. So internet in our society, this technology in our society is trying to make world very small, in other words. With so many people uploading personal information, targeted marketing has become very easy and very popular. Because of this very precise demographic specific marketing capability, social networks are extremely profitable. So they are earning a lot of money. But there is always the downside, and with social networking, it is primarily the issue of trust and safety. Besides, it has got its advantages that they are earning a lot of money, and this is becoming one of the profitable business. There is one issue of trust and safety. Social networking puts its users in danger from those members of the web who may pose as someone they are not and should not be trusted. When you know only know a person over a short period of time and have never before met in person, it is very easy for that person to create a desirable self-image in your head, and this image might have nothing to do with you with reality. So there can be this illusion in your mind if you keep on connecting to these Facebook kind of things and these kind of social networks available on internet. When we expose our lives to the internet community, we become very vulnerable whether we realize it or not. So we fly in the air and we do not try to accept the reality once we talk about these kind of social networks on internet. Given the degree of impact the internet has had on society, it is relatively short existence. The long-term implications and are unforeseeable. A world in which all people may communicate openly with one another regardless of physical distance between them was once no more than a very tempting idea, but is now the norm. The world is very much analogous to an organism, and to quote a fictional doctor, all organisms evolve and develop around patterns only recognized in retrospect. So it will probably be not sooner than until we experience the results of internet influence on our society that we may be able to evaluate them. So this is how the writer ends up his essay, by telling that how internet has got a strong influence on our society, yet it has got some advantages as well as it has got disadvantages, and writer has helped us explain bring this exposition in our minds clearly. So that brings to the end of our today's lecture. Today we have thoroughly talked about the expository essay. We have thoroughly discussed what are the keywords that show that it is an expository essay. Tell, how, and explain are the two words which tell us that how that is the expository essay. Then we have thoroughly discussed the structure of expository essay. We have also discussed the PACO pre-writing technique, which can be used for writing down one good expository essay. We have discussed some different kinds of types of expository essay, and how by using which methods you can actually write down one good expository essay. We have discussed key points, do's and don'ts, and common mistakes, and we have thoroughly discussed one example, the influences of culture and its influence in today's lecture. So that was all for today. Here is a list of references being consulted for giving you this lecture number 19. I hope that you have enjoyed today's lecture. I wish you good luck for writing down one good expository essay on your own. Until the next lecture, I'll see you in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.